Let's talk about the various UK visa types. After we've talked or mentioned all the various types, we will then take our time to explain each type of visa in different other videos, just so you understand that there are various ways for you to come into the UK. Permit me to use my phone because it's a lot for this my small brain to crack and cram. Okay, I'm going to be using my phone for accuracy. Of course, we know what a visa is. A visa is what gives you the authorization to come into a country, including the UK, if you're not a citizen of that country. A visa is usually either a stamp you receive on your passport, a document given to you by a UK consulate or embassy in your country of residence or at the point of entry. If you're issued a visa, it means you're eligible to enter the UK. And there are different reasons why you may want a UK visa. One is to work and do business, to study, to stay short in form of tourism, to join family members who are already in the UK, to transit from the UK to another country, as a refugee, as someone who needs humanitarian protection, to live permanently, as a stateless person if you do not have any state, as someone who needs permission to stay. So there are different reasons why you may or will be needing a UK visa. So who need UK visa? Either you're a citizen of European countries, Switzerland, the Commonwealth countries. How do you apply for a UK visa? The visa application process depends on lots of type of reasons why you are applying for the visa, especially if the visa belong on the point-based system. So the type of visa you're going to be applying and how you're going to be applying depend on the reason in which you want to come into the country. When you start applying for your visa, you should try to apply for your visa way like long time before you actually want to travel, just to give yourself enough time for processing. Sometimes they will say between 3 working days, depend on if you pay for priority visa, if you pay for super priority visa, if you pay for the regular visa. It can take 15 to even 6 months. So you have to give yourself enough time for the visa to be processed. What are the required documents for you to migrate to the UK? To depend on what route you're coming. If you're coming as a visitor, you have to be able to show proof of fund. You have to be able to show that you have a tie back home in your country. You have to be able to show where you're coming to visit, your invitation letter, or the reason why you're coming to the UK and where you'll be staying. Good evidence. If you're coming to work, you have to be able to show, because it's going to be on a point-based system, you need to be able to provide all the other points, things that will give you the point, like your certificate of sponsorship, your offer letter, your English, proof of English, and those other. So it will depend on the type of visa that you're going to be getting or applying for. That is what will determine the requirement that you need. If you're coming for a business visa, you have to have enough fund and proof to show that yes, you're actually coming to start a business in the UK. Although there are some standard UK visa requirement which is just generalized, but to also please make sure you check. It depends on the particular visa that you're applying for. You need your UK application form, which usually is online when you're trying to apply for your visa, 2 photographs sometimes, and then your valid international passport, prove you have financial means to cover your living costs, your travel costs, your expenses, proof of accommodation, depend on what you're coming to do, detailed travel itinerary, tuberculosis test results, biometric information, UK visa invitation letter if you're coming on a visitation letter, paid UK visa fee, and certificate of translation. And you have to translate all your documents if it is not in English. If you're employed, a letter from your employer. If you are self-employed, your business registration document. If you're a student, a letter from your education provider. If you're visiting, you need your visitation letter, your birth certificate. If applicant is under 18, your birth certificate, your adoption paper. If traveling unaccompanied or with someone other than your parents, your signed letter from the parents of your parents confirming that you're allowed to travel, a copy of your parents' legal guardian biographical page of their passport, document to present at point of entry, valid passport, landing card if any, and or your visa if applicable. Okay, so these are the general requirements, but it will definitely depend on the route or the route in which you're coming to the UK. So what are the various visa types that are in the UK? We have work visa, we have business visa, we have study visa, visitor visa, family visa, settlement visa, transit visa. Work and business visas, have very strict rules, allow you to get a job to so many visa holders in the UK. So you need to get a job. The categories of work and business visas include, so there are so many categories under this work and business visa: high qualified foreigners, which is global talent visa; skilled worker visa with a job offer on the shortage occupation area, like UK senior specialist worker visa, UK international sportsmanship visa, UK minister of religion visa. And if you're coming under the youth mobility and temporary foreign workers visa, your government authorized exchange visa, UK Youth Mobility Scheme visa, and there are other visas under this same work visa that is called the domestic worker visa if you're coming to work for somebody, or Vignet visa, UK business visa. If you're coming under the student route, I'm going to be very quick, I don't want this video to be too long. If you're coming under the student visa, this type of visas are issued to international students who want to study in the UK, and you have the tier 4 child student visa, which is like a dependent visa for the child of a student, tier 4 general student visa for the main applicant, or short-term study visa if your study is not that long. And then you have the tourist and visiting visas. The UK is a very popular tourist destination for short or even longer period of visit. The foreign nationals are prohibited from getting a job. I always say this. So both the tourist and the visiting visa are similar. The foreign nationals are prohibited from getting a job inside the UK with this type of visa, just as with many other types. So short business trips are handled kind of in the same way. So we have categories of tourist and visiting visa. We have the marriage visitor visa if you're coming to get married, parent of a tier 4 child student visa. If you have a child in the UK and they are studying, you want to come and visit them, you can come under the parent of a tier 4 child student visa, a permitted paid engagement visa, short-term study visa, UK visitor visa, visa for a Chinese tour group. And then we have the family visa group. The UK family visa group is issued to visit family members in the UK. So if you already have family members who you can really show that you're really related to them, you can visit them on this visa. The visa type is for people who have family members working and living in the UK and want to join them for more than 6 months as their dependent. The dependent can be husband or wife, spouse, partner, fiancé or proposed visa, civil partner, children, parent, other family members. So categories of family visas are UK spouse visa, UK parent visa, UK child visa. And then we have the transit visa. It's for foreigners who are not from the EEA countries, EU countries, including, I don't want to go into all that. Category of transit visa include visitor in transit visa. That's if you're traveling from one country to the other and you just want to pass through the UK, that's when you will need a transit visa. And then we have refugee visa. Temporarily refugee visa is for people who are about to enter the UK and are at the border because had to leave their country as their life was seriously threatened, like those in Ukraine. If you're in a war zone area, this visa is temporary until the visa holder is not endangered anymore. So what they are saying is you can stay in the UK temporarily until your country is safe or where you're coming from is safe, and then you'll be expected to go back. Visa for stateless person is for foreigners in the UK and not nationals in any other country in the world. So if you're a foreigner in the UK, you find yourself in the UK and you do not belong to any country in the world, that means you're countryless. You can then get a stateless person visa. The visa is given for 2 to 6 years with a possibility of extension. And after that is when you now have your indefinite leave to remain. The UK settlement permit, also known as indefinite leave to remain, is for those who have been living in the UK for a long period with a temporary visa like work visa, whatever visa that you've been on, and now want to receive permanent one. One thing I want to take out of this and to note is that despite the fact that you as a foreigner, you may have a visa, you should also know what the visa you're having is. Not enough information, because you can still also be refused, even though you've already been issued the visa by the immigration office, by home office. At the point of entry, you still stand the chance or the risk of being refused or sent back. Okay, one thing I also want you to know is that any form of overstaying or violating visa condition while being in the UK or out is considered an act of offense. So please, when you come to the UK, do not overstay. Do not overstay your welcome. If you're on a visitor visa, do not work. Some visa will prevent you from getting a job, professional jobs, using public funds. Because you have stayed this long, let us quickly talk about the reasons why most visas get denied. One is missing documents, incorrect or mismatching information, especially if you're applying after somebody and the person has given a different information and then you're giving another information. Insufficient financial means to support your stay in the UK, not meeting the English language requirement, incorrect organization of documentation. In case your visa is refused, you can reapply, but please try to make sure you've gotten all those documents and all those things that is needed before you reapply, because it just be like throwing a stone into the same hole. I'm expecting a different result. Okay, appeal on human rights ground. If you think your decision was not right or was unfairly judged, you can appeal, challenge decision via judicial review, but that's a long process. Will you get a refund? No. If you apply for a visa and your visa has been refused, you will not get a refund for that visa. You will get your immigration head surcharge fee back, so you can use it to reapply if you have paid, but you will not get your refund back. If you have a criminal record and you're afraid will your visa be denied, every visa is given a chance to be reviewed. So the Home Office will review your visa and they will see if the reason in which, although they will treat you differently, they will assess you very differently from somebody who do not have a criminal record. But it is very important that you declare your criminal record, so it is not found out, and then that will be an automatic reason why your visa will be refused. If you declare it, they will review it and see if they can allow you into the country or not. And if you're in the UK on a legal document, you are allowed to travel to other countries and come back as long as you have visas, or you're allowed to go to those countries and you still have a valid visa in the UK. Although one thing I always say is that try to make sure you have, they will even tell you that you should make sure your passport has at least 6 months validity on it. Your passport shouldn't be expiring and you're trying to leave the country, because you may not be able to get back into the country. Okay, so that is the end of my video today. I hope this video has been helpful. I know it has been very quick because I'm trying to just go through them, because it's so much. If I try to explain it in detail, it will take maybe 2 hours. But if there's any part of this video you want me to talk about individually, visit, work, transit, family reunion, any part of the video that interests you, that you want me to talk about personally, I will make a video about it and I will explain in detail how to get those visas. I hope this video has been helpful, so that you will know that there are other ways and other kind of visa that you can get before you come to the UK. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please, I beg you to please subscribe. Press the subscribe button for free. Like, drop a comment, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe and good luck. Okay, bye.